I've just started the third week of my adaptive phase of my squats and deadlifts. Each time I've gone to ride the bike, my legs have just been crushed. Same thing happened a couple days ago when I did my 60-mile ride. Today I'm doing a 90-mile ride with a lot more climbing, and for whatever reason, my legs are feeling okay. We'll see what happens with the rest of the ride. I posted this ride on LinkMyRide and only one person showed up, and I'll be talking about that in a bit. But the one person that showed up, David here, was perfect for this ride. This ride was 103 miles and about 5,600 feet of climbing. It was a little over half the distance and climbing of this event that I'm thinking about doing. There was no lollygagging for us. We basically took pulls, stayed in endurance, maybe crept up into tempo, and on the climbing, well, we kept it steady whatever pace we were doing. That was pretty much the perfect pace for me.
Good. That was nice. I mean,
it was endurance. It was endurance and tempo on the flats and rollers.
Right.
And then it was consistent on the climbing. You know, it got a little steep there.
Right.
So it was whatever it was going to be. But yeah, there was no lollygagging. We just took pulls, kept going, and that's it.
That's a great way to do it in my book. Get it done, right?
Absolutely. I'll stay out here first.
Okay, I'm gonna get
I can certainly feel my muscles with the lifting, but not much. That was a good pace. Like I was saying, it was a good pace. And now we're going to be climbing up the 4-lane. So it's a good day so far. Very good day. After we left our water stop, we continued on a couple miles, and then we got to the bottom of this 8-mile climb. Now, David's a pretty strong guy, but he's also a big guy, so he's going up at his own pace, and I was going up at mine. I wanted to keep this endurance all the way up, but I didn't want to put a lot of power into it, so I limited myself to 250 watts, which I found out was not going to be a problem because all those squats and deadlifts I've been doing recently, that seems to put a mechanical governor on my legs. I would have loved to do this climb in 60 minutes, but I ended up doing about 64 minutes, which, since it's the first time I'm doing it in a few weeks, I was happy enough with that. I made it to the top of the 4-lane. My legs are feeling okay, but I can definitely tell it's as if there's a mechanical governor on my legs, not allowing me to go any faster than I'm going. That's what the squats and deadlifts are doing to me today. Hopefully that dissipates. Okay, my riding partner, he's a strong guy, but a bigger guy, so it's going to take him a little longer to get up to the top here. So it gives me a chance to make this clip. This ride brought out two issues. The first issue I call the lack of Natalia issue. So I post these rides and hardly anybody comes. Natalia will post that same or similar ride next week that we'll do, and everybody comes. Well, there's nothing I can do about that. So before I tell you about my second issue, let's talk about posting. There's this app that we're using called LinkMyRide, LMR. And it's a pretty cool app. You can post your rides, you can go to any area around the world, and if people are using LinkMyRide, you can see what rides are going on, and you can just join in. For this ride, I posted it on LinkMyRide, and I had 2 people sign up to join, and then one at the end found another ride that was more to his liking, and you know, that's fine. But that's where the issue comes in. The other ride, that wasn't posted. It could have been a ride that I wanted to do, but I didn't know it existed. If we're going to be a cycling community, it'll be nice to have a central location where you can go and see what's going on. By the time I finished my clip, David made it to the top. We started our descent back down the 8-mile now descent, and then an opportunity for fun happened. This huge RV towing this 4x4 sort of slowly went past me. It was going just fast enough where I had to put in all that effort to try and catch it. And so I stayed with it for a bit, but after a while had to let it go. But this guy had some buddies. The third one that came by slotted behind the other 2, and when he did, he slowed up just enough, and that allowed me to get on its wheel. Being in this guy's draft allowed me to go at least 10 miles an hour faster. And so I was starting to get a little nervous because I was getting a little too close, and this guy wasn't smooth. He wasn't hitting the brakes a lot, but he was reacting. There you go, see the brake lights? He was reacting to his buddy that's in front of him. Once I got to the bottom, David and I concentrated on doing what we were doing before. Just steady, taking pulls, endurance, maybe a little bit of tempo. When we got back to the bike shop, I dropped him off there, and then I continued on home, where I also did some extra miles. So I ended up doing about 103 miles. Next week, there's a ride that I'm going to be joining, but I'm going to be riding to it, so I'm going to be doing about 125 miles. Now, the reason I'm doing all these miles is that I'm thinking about this double century, this local double century that I may participate in. This double century is nowhere near a goal for me. If I feel that I have enough miles, then I'm going to do it. My main focus for this off-season is gaining strength in my legs and also working on my FTP. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. If you don't have the LinkMyRide app, get the LinkMyRide app. All right, you know the drill. Comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.